What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Iccy Show. 481 interviews I've done in 4 years. My podcast has been around internationally and local. So give this artist a second to get on this Iccy Show, and we will start this Iccy Show. If you want to be a guest on the Iccy Show, inbox your girl, Jackie Brown with 2 C's, I.E. Brown. I am booking until October, so just inbox me. I'll let you know the days I have open or the dates I have cancellations for. Salute to everyone in Boston doing their thing. There's a lot of you. Hey, did you get the tag in? Let me see. Hey, Bethany, I'm going to call you after the interview. I was rushing to get back here. I got you, though, Queen. Murr, can you send it to me? Because this is the person. You don't accept the interview, it says. It says technical issue. Don't tell me someone hacked into this interview. You haters that don't want this interview to come. Why? Because the truth's going to come out on this interview? Shit. For real. Don't start this shit with me today. I'm not in no fucking mood. Murr, try to send it to me. See if it goes through that way. Peace, everybody. Peace. What's going on, everyone? It says adding. Keep my fingers crossed. The haters got off the line. Hey, welcome to the Iccy Show. Yo, the hate is real. They don't want us to succeed. You see that shit?
Well, I guess I had to update Facebook. I didn't even realize that, but.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. How you been, Murr?
I've been okay. I'm not gonna lie. I've been kind of up and down, but I've been okay. I won't really get into too many details because.
You got your volume on? I can hardly hear you.
Hang on. I might have to put my headphones on. Hang on 1 second. All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you nice and loud.
All right. Yeah, I hate the iPhone. I hate the iPhone for this shit. But yeah, no, I've been okay. I've been all right. I just been working recently, and I'm about to go back into the studio. I would put it that way.
Okay. And you had a couple of videos come out this year.
Yeah, in the month of May, I had like 3 videos come out. I had a tape come out. Um, I originally dropped the tape on my birthday, but I had to push it back to May 1st for internal reasons. But yeah, no, I dropped the tape. I dropped 3 videos in May, and I told everybody I was gonna drop 3 videos in May.
Yeah.
So regardless of what like I am or not doing on social media right now, I'll put it this way: I am still working, regardless. So in terms of live shows, I don't think that I am in the type of position where I feel mentally like I can do it right now. And it's just more personal than anything. Out of respect for the person that, it's in reference to, he didn't want anything on social media. So I'm trying to do the best I can to not talk about it. I'll put it that way.
All right. Okay. So we'll change the subject on that. So are you?
Well, I'll put it this way. The one thing I will say for social media is that I did lose my dad in the past few months. It's just he asked me not to really put anything on social media in terms of like posts or anything like that. So, yeah, it's just been a lot of up and downs. That's all.
My condolences to you and your family.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely hard. And now you just clarified because people probably been trying to get in touch with you, and they're like, "Why isn't he calling me? Or why isn't he getting back?"
Yeah, yeah. It really took me a few months, and I was just like, I think it's gonna take like a radio interview for me to kind of get this out to the point that I can, where I don't have to type out my feelings or emotions or none of that. I don't have to try to play to anybody's sympathies or none of that. Uh, Basically, it's just simply at the end of the day, like it was his last wishes, and I just try to respect it as much as I can. He was not the type. I will say this: he was not the type of person to be on the grid. You know what I mean? He wasn't the type of person to be on the internet or cell phones. He didn't like all that stuff. So he was very old school.
Okay, yeah, definitely. I respect.
Yeah. So he wasn't in touch with the modern day, what we do in this day and age. He wasn't in touch with all that. Like he could never. I don't think I'll put it this way. I don't think he would ever understand a FaceTime.
Hmm.
You know, and even when he had a cell phone in his hand, he kind of looked at it like it was a foreign object. Like he didn't understand what he was talking into, and so it was a little funny. But yeah, no, he definitely was old fashioned. He wasn't the type to be in tune with like technology or none of that.
Okay, I respect it 1000%. My older family was the same way. So, and you try to explain it to them, and they're like, no. We used to get to country, state to state. We didn't need no computer. We didn't need um
Mm-hmm.
GPS, all that. So, um, that's the way that our older generation thinks. But it's sad because the new generation, that's all they're gonna know. They're not gonna know how to. It's sad because I see some of the young ones, like 18, and I see them when they gotta go like down the street. They put the GPS. I'm like, you don't know how to go down the street. Like, come on.
Oh my god. Oh my god. They live for technology.
Yeah.
It's their whole lives. It's their whole lives. I swear to God, like I've said this, and I said this about like I think like 15 years ago when technology was really starting to come up. I said this. I was like, we're gonna get to a point where there's gonna be a generation of people that will not understand that if you do not have this electricity, you do not have this phone, you're not. What are you gonna do? What are you going to do unless you're raised by a generation of parents who know how to do gardening, who know how to plant, who know how to do agriculture, who know how to grow food? Um, even growing weed is still considered like horticulture at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It's a plant, so it's the type of thing that you would grow in the ground as a seed and you would let it blossom, and that's a beautiful thing. That's why we love weed at the end of the day, no lie, is because it really is a plant. It's something that still uh, well, I would say still assertively teaches us, educates us, whether we're young or old, on horticulture and botany, you
Right.
know and those are very important because even if you're not the type of person to grow something like weed, you are the type of person that could use that as a means to grow like tomatoes or lettuce or basil or oregano or cilantro or you name it. You name it. Peaches, nectarines, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. Like our food industry is one that I think people just need to wake up to and realize like the more that we can still like aggressively pursue agriculture and botany and growing healthy enough foods that don't have pesticides or germs or GEOs or GMOs or anything like that, the healthier we're gonna live,
Right.
you know?
Right. I totally understand what you're saying because, um, you know, like I have younger ones, and the younger ones they rely on the technology, and I'm like, you're just going around the corner to the store, and they're like, yeah, but I need to put it on just in case. I'm like, just in case what?
Mm-hmm.
You're going around the corner. We could go to state. We didn't even need GPS and stuff like that. It's all in your memory. These kids are like building their own computer in their brain. What's up, Zulia Warriors? Shout out to BK.
Yeah.
Salute, Lieutenant. Much love and respect to you out there in Brooklyn, New York. Salute. Definitely stay safe and healthy during your tour with Wu Tang if you're on there this summer with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we got Legal Mob Entertainment, Miss BK in the building. Salute. Salute, salute, Queen. Definitely, definitely.
Salute to that. Salute to that. So let's dive into the music. because I would love to tell you some updates. I haven't done a radio interview in a little bit. I think the last radio I did was in New York. I don't even remember.
Murr, hold on 1 second. My dog. Hold on. Let them know your social media while I'm going to get my dog.
So my social media is Murr Mayo, Murrmayo. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all platforms musically. I'm on Spotify, Apple, Pandora, Napster, Deezer, all that. I'm on all that.
I'm coming, Murr. I'm trying to get my dog. Come on.
Yeah, you're good.
Come on. Look what mommy got. Look, come on. Look it. Come on. Come. And I come. Come on, mommy. Yeah, so I'm back. Sorry. Had to get my dog. My dog was going crazy.
Yeah, no, that's all right. My battery might die soon. I'm gonna try to charge my phone right now.
So, are you looking for a manager still, Murr?
I'll put it to you this way. I got people that want to manage me, and I'm all good with that. Like, I love the idea of what they're coming up with for concepts and everything, but I would really love to have like a publisher.
Okay. Any publishers turning in right now? Make sure you link with this man, Murr Mayo. He's a great artist. I've seen him bumping and grinding, going to state throughout the last couple of years. I've seen him at a couple big shows at a different state. I've seen him there. That's dedicated to his work as an artist. He's a hardworking artist. And are you looking for a videographer or anything that's holding you back in your career? Anything in the
So in terms of like videographers, like I would love to have a videographer, but I've been working with a bunch of different ones at the end of the day.
Is there anyone so you set with one right now, or you still would like to, if one contacts you?
So hang on.
I know you're trying to get the I know you're feeling right now. I know that feeling.
So I've worked with a bunch. So I've worked with a bunch. I am looking to pay somebody to like get to Detroit to do this video with Bazaar.
Okay, for the summer or in the fall time?
I would say like late summer, fall. That's how I'm seeing it.
Okay, anyone that's tuning in right now that can help this artist fulfill his career with that one thing, link with him. Did you check Rika? Did you check out Rika from Boston?
Not yet. No.
Check out Rika Studios from Boston. She did the movie I'm in, Don Hazel the Gangster. It's out on YouTube. Go check it out. See how her quality is, and you can check it out. It's a free movie, everyone. And you can check it out, Murr, so you can see her quality. She's done many artists in Boston. Great quality. She has the best camera that you use filming for movies. She got the ones that are high tech with, remotes and stuff. So you might want to check her out, especially being in the location is around the corner, just a hot skip and a boop right there. So Murr, is there any other videos coming out like the next couple of months that we should be aware of?
Um, Nothing in particular right now in terms of videos. I'll put it that way. Nothing in particular in videos, but more like projects we're gonna drop. So the next project I'm dropping is actually not gonna be some comedy thing. It's gonna be more melodic, if anything. It's gonna be love and drugs. It's gonna be a story about a drug dealer slash rapper who meets a girl And this is where Strawberry Fields started coming in a little bit more when I started recording Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin and all that. I started forming the concept where the whole love and drugs concept is based around artists who basically OD on drugs.
Oh wow.
So every track is gonna, well, minus Strawberry Fields, every track is gonna be named after an artist who OD'd on drugs. And the concept, the idea of love and drugs is that it's supposed to show the youth, like if you put yourself in a position where you find a girl who just wants to take your money and take your drugs, like take your money and take your drugs, and then just wants to use you for that. That's kind of what Love and Drugs is about. So it tells the story of a guy who's a drug dealer slash rapper, and then he meets a girl, and then the girl has too many expectations behind everything that this dude is doing, music wise, drug wise. She starts using the drugs. She ends up overdosing, dying, and he ends up in jail.
Wow. That's deep. And I can know a lot of
It's
people that.
it's really deep to the point where a lot of people have said this to me. They're like, "How do you go from being comedic to this?" And I'm like, I don't know. I have a creative mind at the end of the day, and I have a direction that I want to go with the music. It's not just funny music at the end of the day. I want to make stories out of the music that I'm making at the end of the day. It's supposed to be more than entertainment. It's supposed to hit you deep. It's supposed to hit you in the heart. It's supposed to tell a message. That's what all genres of music have always been about. And I hope I'm hopeful that Love and Drugs is what captures that, you know. So I already got Jimi Hendrix and Strawberry Fields. I released Strawberry Fields twice. I'm gonna release it the third time. This is gonna be the final time. I swear to God, this is gonna be the final time I release Strawberry Fields. I promise. I'm not releasing it a fourth time. I'm just gonna end it at the third time I release it. But now Strawberry Fields that I made 2 years ago is actually connecting to what I originally wanted to do for the concept, which was originally like a tribute to the 60s artists that made drug songs. And then it turned into this whole thing where I could really talk about artists that, like, I could name tracks after artists that overdosed on drugs, and I could really touch into the youth with that, with like a whole message about like if you put yourself in a position where you're with a girl and everything, don't juxtapose your position where you lose money because you're doing this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be, really. Whether it's sex, drugs, love, all that. It's a very deep concept. I kind of have to do 2 or 3 volumes of it. So this is the first volume, and then we'll get into more modern generations of music with it. Like I'm trying to really touch and base with more of the '60s, '70s side of things right now, and I'm trying to touch base in the fact that like in '60s and '70s, music was this, that, and third. It was great. It was entertaining. It was very positive. There was a lot of positive messages, but a lot of these dudes were consuming substances at the same time, and they was recording this music, like consuming substances, like half of their life they
Can you
couldn't even
talk in your
remember
mic?
because yeah,
Sorry.
hang on. Half of their life they couldn't even remember because like at the end, I'm trying. Hang on.
It's okay. It's okay. Stop at midnight. Come up here. Come up here. Come up here. Come here. Come see mommy. Come up here. Come up here. Come say hi.
All right. So with Love and Drugs, what did you just catch that I said? Like,
I
did you
heard,
catch most of what I said?
yeah, and then it started dying down lower, lower. So then that's why I asked you to put it. I heard up to when I said it. So I'm sure
Okay.
everyone
All
did.
right. So, like with Love and Drugs, it's a concept where it's kind of more than trying to get a separate fan base. At the end of the day, it's like a lot of people like the melodic stuff I do. A lot of people like the way that I sing. And I don't know if I have a sound with the singing part of things, but what I do know is that um with the concept itself, with the way it's structured and the way I'm trying to make it, what I want to do with from volume one, I want to end it. I got a song that's gonna end it with a whole positive message for the youth, like don't fear just because the guy ends up in jail. And that's what essentially happens in Love and Drugs Volume 1. The guy ends up in jail because the girl ODs on drugs. She supports his music, and it gets to a point where he stops getting shows and he stops performing, and then he starts losing money because partially like what she does is she starts taking his drugs and starts taking them, and she starts taking advantage of the things that he has versus the things that he doesn't have. So she doesn't want to really build with him.
Mm, I
It's,
understand.
it's, it's a very deep concept, and I hope that the videos that I can make for the whole entire Love and Drugs thing, like I already made the Jimi Hendrix video, so that already showcased the happy-go-lucky drug dealer type that what's it called? It's the happy-go-lucky drug dealer type that has no fears, no worries, no stress, no none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of the tape is like you got Janis Joplin after that, which is when he meets the chick. He meets a Janis Joplin type chick, but she's cuter, she's a little younger, she has more manipulations behind her and things like that. So I'll put it that way. Um,
What about comedy? You want to become a comedian full time instead of the music as much? Because you'd be funny too, and they have Comicville, that they be doing
so
tours around the states.
with the comedy thing, like what I would love to do with my comedy thing is more than music. Like the reason I've been turning into funny music is because I would love to be on an SNL. I would love to be on a TV show where I could be like a Lonely Island and I could make parody music of whatever I want to make.
Mm,
Like that's always been my vision with the comedy. But what my plan initially with the comedy is I'm gonna drop my Love and Drugs tape. I'm gonna drop my WCM2 tape, which is gonna have more mainstream stuff. And a lot of the people that have heard these unreleased tracks, these I'll call it leaked tracks for now. I'll call it leaked tracks that haven't been released. Um, the people that have already heard these things are like, I gotta take it to the south, I gotta take it here, I gotta take it there, I gotta take it there. I just sent a file of one that I'm dropping on WCM2. It's called Tiptoes. It's got like this southern type of trap feel to it. It's like one of those kind of things. So WCM2 is trying to establish that beyond the comedy, like Love and Drugs and WCM2 are trying to establish like beyond the comedy, I can expand into this, that, the third. So if there ever comes a point where someone needs a feature where I got to come in into the booth and sing, or I got to come in the booth and do some mainstream stuff, or this, that, and the third, like that's what I'm trying to build into. When I get to WCM3, I'm coming straight back into the comedy. But this is what I'm doing. I'm getting off the topic of like offending the women because I've been doing that a lot. And I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, that gets tiring after a while. Even for somebody who raps about it and makes funny music about it, it gets tiring after a while. You got to switch topics, you got to expand. So WCM3 is all about the plight of the working man,
yeah.
the 9 to 5 grind,
Hmm.
the stuff that you don't hear about in the stuff that you don't hear about too much in hip hop,
Hmm.
like the 401ks. Um, I got a track that I already named called "Hit the Hazards." Years ago, my friend said you should make this track called "Hit the Hazards." It's gonna be a smash, and I never put it together. But the reason they told me that was because I was in the working world. I wasn't really in the streets like that and all that. So it's gonna help people understand like this is what I was doing before I got in the streets. Like I was doing the 9 to 5 stuff. So don't ever underestimate that I don't understand what goes on with that, with the private healthcare practice, with the 401ks, with the universal basic income, the politics behind going to work, the walls hear more than they should, the walls talk more than they should, you know what I mean? I just want to poke fun. I really want to poke fun at corporate America. I want to poke fun, and I honestly think it's a genius idea because at the end of the day, on the low low, even though we're on social media, we got 2 people watching this, so this is great. So on the low low, it's a genius idea. As a rapper, not many rappers really tackle the subject of the 9 to 5 world
Right.
because a lot of them grow up. I hate to say this, a lot of them that become rappers grow up in an environment where they don't get the chances to be able to always work. I'm not saying that they don't get the chances to never work, but they don't get the chances to always be guaranteed a job and all that. So I pitched this to somebody one day, and he was a comedian himself. And I'm like, don't you think it would be the funniest thing in the world if you could just pitch corporate? You could poke fun at corporate America. You could poke fun at healthcare. You could poke fun at all this shit that people complain and bitch about every day of their lives.
Right. Right. Extortion. Extortion.
My number one rule is whatever job that I am working currently, I don't poke fun at. But all the jobs that I did in the past, sure.
What's up, DJ Big Styles? We got from North Carolina. He just hosted my international mixtape with myself. Go check it out. It's going to be on all platforms. You can go check it out. I've been sharing the links. It's on DJ Disco Kit on something else. There's already. So check out the websites. I've been sharing it. Shout out to the team, everyone on it. I hope to have you on the next one, Murr.
Oh, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen, definitely.
Definitely. Um,
We'll definitely make it happen.
I would like to see you more on the comedian side. I like your music, but I feel like you're more where your talent is more. I would say is the comedian side because I've seen you perform in New York, being a comedian, and
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you perform as a rapper. So I got to see you both sides, as an artist point of view and a manager as myself. And honestly, you did really well at the red carpet. But I feel like your talent might be the comedy. Like honestly, that video you just did, no disrespect to anyone that got offended by the abortion one. Yo, that shit is fucking hilarious. Like it's serious, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, that shocked a
You
lot
talk
of
about busting in the
like.
nut and then getting an
And
abortion.
the crazy thing is, it doesn't even have 100 views yet. So I want you to think about this for a second. Imagine if it was like at 1 million views and a million, or let's say 500K people watched it, and 500K out of the million sat there and was like, "What in the fuck is this?"
Yeah, that's how I
And I
felt.
took it honestly. I take a lot of shit from pop culture that's already been done. I'm no different than a Weird Al.
Yeah,
That's where I'm like a Weird Al. That's why I tell people I'm like Weird Al, because I'm like, I take a lot of shit from movies and funny ass TV shows and funny ass movies. Like if y'all watched Haunted House when Marlon Wayans was fucking that Annabelle doll, that's basically what I did. I just did it in a less shocking way, I guess. I'll
yeah,
put it that way.
freak. You were a freak in that video, to be honest. Like, I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, the lyrics and shit. I'm like, yo, you talking about some deep shit as a woman point of view. But, like, I'm a woman, so I can, criticize it. I'm the opposite sex as you. But, like, at first, I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? So I hear the next layer, the line, and I'm like, damn, this shit's hilarious. But some people might take it serious. But you don't need to take it serious, guys. Lighten up. Life's too short. But if you listen to the lyrics, it's a reality check to you guys, not you guys per se, but anybody that's using unprotected sex. This is really what can happen. So you should pay attention to the music video because it's real shit.
Oh,
Don't take
if
it
you want to
personally.
keep it if you want to keep it real, it kind of stirs the pot for like the liberal crowd and all that, because they're like, oh well, he supports abortion but he said the word retarded, like how are we supposed to feel about both of those things? And as for the conservatives, it's like he doesn't support abortion but he said the word retarded. So on a political level, on a general political level, yeah, I stirred the pot. And that's what it was. It really wasn't about making the song. It was about stirring the pot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that song is personal to me. I had personal fucking problems with like the person that like the woman that I fucked and all that. But at the end of the day, she already knows. I told her, I'm like, I made a whole trilogy about you. So deal with it. Like, just deal with it. But at the end of the day too, it's like the way I looked at it was like, I'm gonna stir the pot,
Hmm.
you know?
Speaking of spurring the pot, can I bring something up real quick?
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that wants to, I've been getting a lot of inboxes about the live I did yesterday, and I just want to let everybody know, my show has been around 4 years, and I own 9 of my barcodes of the Iccy Show. I used to spell it the ICY space SHOW. If you look at my beginning of my interviews, I used to do it. But then when I started really going hard in it, at first I didn't take it serious, like I always told you guys. But like when I took it serious was the same year, just a couple months later. And then somebody already has that name, but the person that has it isn't the one that's going around with the fashion show right now. It's a different person. So there's a lot of dick riding and name copying and things like this in this nature. And honestly, that's why I posted my barcodes. I've been owning that. I just had to tell people because everyone's like, "Oh, congratulations!" This I appreciate the congratulations, but I've been owning it. I just had to put that to clarify because there was someone doing some fuckboy shit, and I don't condone to that because I respect everybody. And if you cross that line, then I can't respect you. I can't trust you, friend or not friend, distance or not. But I appreciate everyone that supports the Iccy Show, and I am the real CEO of the Iccy Show. I just wanted to clarify that. If someone is using my name out there, please confirm with me if I am running that show or if I'm hosting that show because I don't want you to get it miscrewed. My name came up this weekend. There was a show this weekend coming, and they used my name. You can't use my name on certain things. So I just wanted to clarify that out there. Any questions, inbox me, everybody, please. There's been a couple of people
Mm-hmm.
inboxing me, and that's what you're supposed to do. And Murr Mayo, I vouch for him. I've seen him bumping and grinding state to state. And this man, he's a great artist, but I really think his comedy if if Calhoun's wasn't closing on Rue One, I would tell you to go there. But I think they're closing in a couple weeks or a week. Because they used to do Saturday night comedy something on Saturday nights there, and you can get awards and things like that. But I really feel you might want to try out for the Comicville, and I know the owner of that. He's down in Chicago or something. But I can have you connect with him when he has a show or something if you want to try it out.
I mean, I honestly wouldn't be I wouldn't mind being a stand-up comedian. I used to hate that shit. I used to look at it like, I'll put it this, I'll put it this way. I used to look at stand-up comedy as the type of thing where I couldn't come out with the one-liners. I couldn't do all that. But now, the way I look at it, the way my confidence is like, I got so many stories that I think half of the crowd would look at me like, "Is this really true?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. I think you really should try it out. That's my personal seeing you live perform. Um, and I really didn't know you like that. And we're from the same city. We're both from Cambridge. Um, but the thing is, I feel like um I don't know. I feel after that last music video you did with that about that abortion shit, that was to me is like, yo, that shit's reality. It's real, but it's like that shit was funny. Like I was laughing. I'm like, no, he fucking did it. You put the mask on. Yo, this shit was fucking hilarious, yo. For real, like that. I don't know. You might want to start like I don't know. That's my point of view. But anyone tuning in that knows Murr and you follow his music, give him some suggestions. If you have any good positive suggestions to help him go his
Yeah, I'll go on TV. I'll do all that. I don't even give a fuck at the end of the day. Like, I'll go on TV. I'll do all that. Dudes have said, people have said that I should have a TV show, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. I should.
yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I should have a TV show because at the end of the day, it's like, I could have one of the funniest TV shows out there if I wanted to make it so.
Sorry about that. Idiot. I'm sorry about that. It's going.
It's all good.
So how? Why don't you look into where Wally Sparks used to do his show? That was in Cambridge on
What,
television.
CCTV?
On television. Damn, really?
I would not do community television. I feel like my shit I I feel like my thing would be way better than community television. Cuz community television, Here's the thing with public access and community television, like it's great to get your message out on community television or public access. Like if you're trying to run a protest or something, yeah, it's great. It's great to run it. But all right, hang on, because my phone is in and out of dying right now, so I have to charge it and then put my headphones in. So
Okay.
I'm gonna try to be heard on the microphone. But the thing with community television is that at the end of the day, like it does reach an arsenal of people, but it only reaches a specific local arsenal of people. And you have to remember that with community and public television is that a public television one of the things about public television that I've noticed, because I grew up on public television and all that, so I grew up on PBS and all that.
Yeah, me
But the
too.
one thing I noticed is that they would always pledge for money because they would always need funding to be able to fund these shows that were going on television. They couldn't rely on advertisements like most channels could. So like the NBCs, the ABCs, the CBSs, the CNNs, all that, they get their means to be able to broadcast anything they want because they sell a block of advertisement to a company or a business. This is why we have commercials in the first place.
Yeah.
So like my thing is if I was to do a show, I would love to do it on community television, but then I would be in a one like I would think about it in a few years time already, like 5 years ahead of the road, like how further can we go with this? Because it would have to go beyond community CCTV. It would have to go beyond public access television. It would have to go beyond all of that. And with the content that I already make, it's hard to put my thing on like public access television. I'll put it that way because it's not educational at all. It's not educational at all what I talk about.
We know it's not educational. We know, but it could be adult comedy. You know, adults go out for dates and stuff like that. So why not have it like funny? Let's go. We got Maurice in the building. Let's go, family. We got a good selection.
But But I'll put it to you this way. My passion has always been film and TV, and that's kind of where my music kind of erupted to because a lot of my creative process, like if you watch that Red Abortion thing, it's like you can tell I was trying to tell a story in it. I wasn't trying to just make a fucking funny video. I was trying to tell a story about a scenario where you could get a chick pregnant, and then what are you gonna do about it? And I'm glad that you picked up on all of that because that's what I wanted the audience to pick up on if they watch that.
Yeah.
Like if you watch that video, I could have used a real chick, but then the implications would have been wrong and all of that. So with the doll, I don't know why with a female doll like an Annabelle doll, it makes more sense. I can't explain the logic behind it, but I feel like less people are gonna claim that I was trying to rape a real woman or something like that. I'll put it that way.
Now they got blow up dolls for porn, so why not use a doll? It's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of using.
I mean, I could have gone that direction, but with the blow up dolls, the thing is on the logic end of things is like you can't get them pregnant. So like I was trying to explain it in a horrific dark comedy way where I got a doll pregnant. And so part 3 is coming and I'm going to make a video for part 3. I'm not going to really divulge the ideas, but I'm just going to say Chucky is going to be involved in part 3.
Okay, okay. We gotta stay tuned on that. And ladies, don't take offended what you said. I know there's some of you that might turn to sour apples over the video. At first I had to watch the video twice. I'll be honest. At first I was like, what the fuck? Really? You talking about bushes? You talking about this? You talking about that? And but then I listened to it again. And I was like, yo, this shit's hilarious. But it's logic sense. It's facts. It's like if you fuck a bitch, without a rubber, you can get her pregnant, and then you'll be in the
Yeah.
clinic. It's reality. Reality. If you
Yeah. It's real life.
yeah,
It's real life, but it's real life. I'll put it this way. It's real life, but it's created in the illusion of a scenario that every man could dream of in well, not with a doll. Okay, just replace the doll with a real woman, for instance. All right, so I have to do it like that with that particular video, and with the third video it's like, replace the doll with a real woman. Now you can have a perception of what happens when you impregnate a real woman, and now you got to figure out either a plan B, or you got to get an abortion within 3 months.
yeah.
You got to do it.
And I think you
And
say Plan B. Is that Plan B? One of your lines was Plan B. You know the pill,
yeah.
right? You were talking about the pill, right? The after day after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the true. The whole chopstick thing is a true story. Like that's what the trilogy is about. I plan on putting the trilogy together as a tape, honestly, because I think it's about time that I just connect the pieces together as best as I can, so that people can understand, like, okay, these three tracks really go together in a certain way. I can't say that because chopstick is just lighthearted and funny, whereas chopstick red abortion is really dark. And then the third one is called Chopstick Fatality. And I'm on my Mortal Kombat type of time, where I'm like, we go 3 rounds like MK, this, that, and the third. Like, she's screaming like Liu Kang, da 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 da. My dick is tuned on like Gorilla, like Harambe. I say some wild shit. And I talk about like trivialities and no apologies and no sincerities and all that. Like I really bring a conclusion to that, where it's like I have to put that third one together with the other two in its own tape. So there's gonna be a chopstick trilogy coming as its own tape. I just have to get a cover done for it, really. And the third one doesn't even have ad libs and none of that. I just sometimes I go into the booth raw, and the way I look at it is like when I record sometimes I get so loud with it, I get so energetic with it that I just am like, nah, we're not even gonna run with ad libs. I want people to understand what the fuck I'm talking about right now.
Right.
But on top of that, like on the newest tape that I got, the WCM tape, which is the all comedy tape, which we haven't even touched up on. I'm so sorry. We should have touched up on that to begin with. But it's an all comedy tape. It's really good. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even on some ego shit. I'm not even tripping on some ego shit. Like, it's a really good tape. It's very funny. It really solidifies and validates what you're talking about with the comedy thing, because it's all comedy.
Okay.
Like, none of it is serious. Like, it's serious what I talk about, but it's very comedic what I talk about. And I can't even lie. Like, I was talking to somebody on my security job yesterday, and he was from England, and we was talking about the British comedies and how they got, like, in England. So in England, I don't know if you know this, Jackie, but in England, they have very dry, sarcastic humor. And I started putting pieces together where I was like, this is why my dad was a big influence in the way I go about my raps, because there's a lot of things I decoy in my raps, like words, phrases, that, like, for instance, I'll just clarify this right now. Like, when people ask me about the mayo and what the mayo means, it's like I have to literally sit there at first and be like, you don't know, you don't want to know what it means. You don't want to know what it means, first of all. And then, like yesterday, I had some chick. I told her, I'm like, you don't want to know what it really means. Like, it's a condiment, but like there's more to it with what I'm delivering at the end of the day. And then I explained it to her, and she goes, oh, okay. And then I get into like liquid mustard, which is my way of saying piss. So I'm out here decoying a lot of the things I say, because I know if I really bring out the truth of the words, and I bring out the actual, like, lingo and everything, it's never going to make it to the radio. So if I substitute certain things, certain bodily fluids, we'll put it that way. Oh man, you know what? That's a great way to explain it. Bodily fluids get replaced by condiments,
Yo,
okay?
that's
So
dope.
like
I like it.
so
I feel it.
so think about this, right? You got sperm, which can be considered like the same color as mayo. You got You got pee, because there are people in the world who have fetishes with pee. I don't understand
Yeah,
it,
I don't understand
but
that either. Like when the guy gets off with the girl pissing on him. What the
yeah,
fuck?
yeah. So you got your pee, which is like liquid mustard, because if you have enough creatine in your piss, it's actually a yellowish color. And a
Yep.
lot of people don't understand this. When I say liquid mustard, it's like I'm actually talking about piss. I'm talking about like some potentially like not R. Kelly shit, because these girls that I'm talking about are actually of age and
Yeah.
legal. We're gonna get that out of the way. But I'm just decoying what something like and R. Kelly would say at the end of the day. I'm decoying what like a lot of people would be afraid to say. So I'm putting it in a way where it's like you can get in a conversation. You could actually use this in substitution. Like instead of talking about sperm or talking about period blood, you could talk about ketchup and mayo, and it could be like a coded language in the water cooler. And so I don't mean to say it like this, but a lot of my music really champions towards like I champion my music towards men, and I try to like defend men in a way that's like it's really not always our faults that what we do is what we do. Sometimes we're influenced by women to do these things because women have weird fetishes and things like that, and we're just trying to make them happy at the end of the day. So, a lot of my music is not different than a Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion. It's pretty simple at the end of the day. I'm just doing what they would do for women, but I'm doing it for men.
Hmm. I understand
Out
that.
of simplicity. So, like, I always like to explore other avenues too. Like,
The
I
guys
might
like when
explore
women
other.
piss in their mouth. Is that why they like that piss shit?
Um, I mean, that would be the implication when I say that, but it's not something that I would necessarily ever do. I'm not gonna say that I've done it because if you see my smile, I'm not gonna say if you see the way I'm looking right now, I'm not gonna say nothing. But I've been in a situation before where I was just like, okay, this is very weird. I've been in a couple of weird situations that I haven't touched up on fully yet, but I will soon at certain points. But I do with the WCM3 project that I haven't even worked on. Like I got a track list for it. I don't have the songs compiled yet. I don't have the beats together yet. But with that, I'm trying to actually expand and broaden my horizons on what I talk about. So I don't just talk about this one centralized topic, which is women. I started getting bored of that. That's why I stopped writing music, because I was like, this is kind of gonna get old really quick. So I gotta switch up things again. So it goes beyond doing just melodic music that's telling really deep concepts about a story about a guy with drugs and then he meets a girl. Like it's a number of concepts, but I have to put it in different means and different ways in music.
Right.
And that's where it's like, if you notice the way I do things, it's funny you mentioned the comedy and doing comedy sketches or stand up, because my passion has always been film. So if you notice the way I'm doing it is like I'm trying to be like a filmmaker in music in a sense.
Hmm.
I'm trying to make a soundtrack and turn it into a film. And that's what I hope to achieve with Love and Drugs. Whereas the audio doesn't connect everything together, the video timeline of the story visually connects everything together. That's my goal with Love and Drugs. And if it does that, it should go off in a way where a lot of people like Strawberry Fields. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people to this day, after like 2 years of making that track, they're asking me for a video. And I've always wanted to make like an animated video, because my concept for the video of Strawberry Fields is, when it comes to the metaphor of Strawberry Fields, it's not supposed to be a field of strawberries. It's supposed to be a field of poppies.
Hmm.
And we know in America, you know what I mean? It's very impossible to find a field of that, because they don't allow any kind of growth of like, they don't allow that kind of growth at the end of the day out here
Right.
agriculturally. So getting to another country, spending a budget on that, you could tell that in the animated segment way easier, where you can express your creative ideas. But the metaphor of Strawberry Fields is, it's a woman who's hooked on drugs. And now with the Love and Drugs concept, where I got Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison on that coming. I got Strawberry Fields, and then part 2 is Strawberry Fields, which I'm gonna name something else. I'm probably gonna name it Amy Winehouse, actually. And then I got like a very positive, the way I'm ending Love and Drugs is on a very positive note. Like, I'm in jail, but I'm ending it on a positive note for the youth. Like, I just taught you guys something. And when I get out of jail, hopefully I make my life better. And that's what leads into Love and Drugs too. It's more of a positive outlook at the volume. When we get to volume 2, when I get to volume 2, it's more of a positive outlook. But for like, I'm so sorry to keep talking about Love and Drugs, but this concept, everything, I just like I backed up WCM, the first WCM rookie season. I'm backing up this Love and Drugs in a certain way where it's like, if you guys at that point are not following what I'm doing, I'm telling a multitude of things and stories. Like, I'm trying to be a multitude of artists. Like, with my singing end, I'm trying to be more like a Mac Miller, if anything.
Right.
You know? And if you've listened to Strawberry Fields and you listen to Boy Meets World and Anti-Famous and all that, you get that feel out of it. It's like you get the feel of somebody who's like not especially in pain right now, but if the pain erupted in a certain way, he would put his heart out into like these singing tracks with the auto-tuned and all that. And it's funny because my engineer was talking about the WCM3 comedy thing, and he's like, I think you should incorporate more auto-tune in it.
No.
So I'm trying to get him to have the beats. He makes beats and all that, so I'm trying to use him for the beats, use him for the engineering. I'm trying to centralize it to one person. It's kind of what I tried to do with the first WCM tape.
Yeah.
Free My Guy 9, by the way. Free My Guy Neighborhood 9. That dude was my engineer. I miss him. That dude and I was always working in the studio over in Suitcase Studio. Like, we was always working, and like we was very close to finding the sound. We was very close to finding the sound on the auto-tune end. And like, the craziest thing was, like, I made Strawberry Fields over there. I made Anti-Famous over there. I made a lot of tracks over there. And to this day, like, it's not so much getting back in that studio, it's getting back to that energy where it's like, that was my centralized engineer that understood through working with me, like, where we was going to go. We was developing a direction. And so it's all day Free My Guy. At the end of the day, NC all day, 5-4, all that, like, for real. Because I need that dude to get back into the booth. He was an influence to a lot of people out here in NC. I've never seen an engineer be that big of an influence to people who are artists out here where I live, on the local part of things, where it's like, we need this dude. And so we all hope, like, I hope and everybody hopes that he just, he just gets through what he got to get through on his end of things. And hopefully he gets out, and hopefully he gets freed.
Yeah, free your engineer, definitely free your engineer.
Yeah. So I do work.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Huh? I was gonna say, I do work in Malden with an engineer named Juice. I actually work over at I work at the Hustle Killer headquarters. So they do shows too. And they was talking about me with my comedy thing, and it was like, you gotta come to a couple of shows. But I've been going through my whole life stuff right now, so it's been hard to go and support the shows right now. But I see the videos, I see the photos. I just want everybody to know I see all that. So I'm very aware that everybody's grinding, and I always hope that they continue grinding, they continue getting their workout, because New England has a very good chance of being next. We have a very good chance of being next. We have a very solid chance of being next, but we really do need unification as much as possible.
Yeah.
And you know me, like, I always, every time I go to a show and network, it's not about just networking, it's about trying to unify my city with whatever city that I'm touching base with, because, like, we have talent. And then and you know me, I always go the distance and say, like, I'm not from Boston, I'm from Cambridge, just so you know. And so I always represent Cambridge at the end of the day. Like, I know Millies is doing his thing. Millies is up there. all respect, all flowers to Millie's. Like, I don't
Yeah.
share his stuff and all that, but I watch his grind and I always observe it and I always respect what he does. But I don't necessarily share his stuff. Like, I got to admit that a lot of people get on the comments and everything, and I respect it fully and everything. But I'm not one of those dudes. I personally am not one of those dudes that can just reach out to artists unless I'm going to do some business with them or I feel compelled to want to make a collab with them or you know what I mean, something like that.
Right.
I'm always attached to the business end of things. Like personal feelings can get in the way of a good business, you know what I mean, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Bad business can get in the way of personal feelings. Personal feelings can get in the way of good business. So, and the other thing too is people have told me like make a track with Millies, blah blah blah. You should make a track with Millies, and I'm like, my music and his music are different though.
But he
You
might
know what I mean?
still get on something. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen Kay
He's
Watts.
just
Shout out to Kay Watts. She was in a picture with him. I just shared it on my page this morning. So I hope they collab because you know you're from Cambridge. He's from Cambridge. I think Kay Watts is from Boston. I want to say, but I'm not 100% sure. But
K Watts used to do the cipher though,
yes,
the Bridgeside cipher.
yes,
Yeah, I've heard about K Watts. I've heard about K Watts before. Um, yeah, no, I've heard about. I'll leave it at that. I will leave it at that. I don't want to talk about that
okay.
that whole other
All
thing.
right, cool, cool. So, what I was saying about the auto tunes, I'm not for the auto tunes that much. I feel like the artists should bring their own voice out. And you have a good voice, so I feel like auto tunes might fuck it up a little bit if you plan on to use it too much. Um, that's
Well, I don't. I don't necessarily want to overdo the auto tune. I know what you're saying. I don't want to overdo the auto tune. Like my thing is I just love making music. So like it's just gonna get to a point where even if I was never rapping again, like I have a rock song that I have sent to a few people, gotten feedback on. I told them it wasn't mixed, it's raw. You know, it's one of those things where I purposefully did not have it mixed down and all that. I just wanted to make a rock song
yeah,
just to see where just to kind of see like you know what I mean, can I do this without a whole band of people, like without 3 or 4 people playing instruments, you know? And it led me to start thinking about the idea that one day we could have a genre of rock music where it's called digital rock, and it's literally the type of genre that the beat is made on like through digital means, and then it's just one person like singing the song and being the vocals, and you know what I mean, you don't have backup vocals. It's just it's like similar to hip hop recordings,
yeah,
but it's just rock and roll. And you know, I experimented one day and did that, and I actually made a song in the studio with a whole Nirvana type beat. And I might pursue doing that where I just don't have a band, but I have people who actually can make these Nirvana beats, these Metallica beats, these, and they could just engineer those beats through a digital means in a computer, a laptop, a tablet, a phone, even a phone. That's how it's going. Everything's becoming so digital now that I'm telling you, I hope I'm not the one calling this, but pretty soon I don't expect to see rock bands, like a whole group of people on the stage. I expect to see one person with probably it sounds weird for rock and roll, but like a DJ.
yeah.
That's a, am I the only one who like, I know you think that sounds weird the way I just said that, because it's like it just fucked me up in the head a little bit.
Yeah, because rock has been around, even soft rock has been around the 80s, 90s, 2000s.
hmm
So I went to karaoke a couple nights ago and there was a lot of rock songs they were doing the karaoke to. Like Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, um who else were they doing? They did Metallica. I grew up on that stuff. So, you know, like I said, hip hop came. I'm a '70s baby. My birthday's this weekend, and I'll be
Oh, happy early birthday.
thank you. I'll be 44 this weekend. Who's taking me out on a date?
That I don't know.
Yo, but it's crazy.
If I'll put it to you this way, if I wasn't working Saturday, I would volunteer.
Oh, that's
Put
so
it that
nice
way.
of you. What a gentleman you are. Salute to you, Murr.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
I
would
should
make it
come
I
bum
would make
rush
it
you.
really nice and really pleasant and nice dinner and all that stuff. Maybe a movie. I don't drive though. Not right now, at least.
I got a license, but on my car, I got rid of my car, so that's the downfall. But I mean, this commuter rail, we got the commuter rail in Boston.
We always got the public transit. Yeah, 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 yeah. Even if the commuter rail runs slow and delays. You know
Yeah.
what's funny? You know what's funny? I was talking to somebody on my job. So I do security at Outdoor Beer Garden. I'm going to say this right now. Anybody looking for a job in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire area, get at me. I work for Nest. It's a big company. They're based in Providence, Rhode Island. We pay $15 an hour, bi-weekly pay. We do multiple spots. Like, I'm gonna put it this way, like, we have the contract this weekend for the Rhode Island Pride Fest.
Okay.
And I'm not working it. I have nothing against all that, but like the hours are kind of like 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. type hours, and I just don't want to do all those hours. But we always look for people. Like, I'm gonna work the Drake show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Awesome.
gonna work security at the Drake show. We work music shows. We work Pats games. We work all that.
Yo, that's good. Anyone looking for a job, link with Murr. Find out where the location, the information, where they can find out where to get that job.
And it's W-2 employment, so there's overtime, there's holiday pay if you work a holiday, major holiday, and all that. All blah 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 blah.
You get
anybody who's worked anybody who's worked a W-2 job before should know exactly what I'm talking about.
you get a discount if you were to not work on a Patriots game? And give me that. Give me that, dog.
I'll put it to you this way. We work with a security team called Team Ops, basically. So we work in conjunction with them. So you get a free meal. Discounts, I'm not gonna say that happens. I would have to look into that. Whoever would work the Pats games, for instance, I'd have to look into that with my bosses, but I don't think for that particular spot there's discounts. But the spot I work at, which is a beer garden, we get like 30% discounts on like the clothing, the tacos, the not the beers because we can't drink obviously on the job, but yeah, we get 30% discounts at the spot that I work at. I do know that certain spots do discounts, but I'm just not sure which spots we work at that would do that. A lot of times we try to feed our employees as much as we can, but there are certain spots where employees are just gonna have to dish out money and pay on their own. I put it that way.
All right, cool, Murr.
But it's literally like the easiest $15 an hour you'll make. I'm not even gonna lie. Like a lot of what we do is like IDs, wristbands. We scan tickets. Some places like we've got contracts for Paradise Rock Club, for instance. We might do pat downs. We might do pocket checks. Things like that. General unarmed. I'll put it this way: general unarmed, easy security stuff.
Yeah, that's dope. Anyone looking for a job, get on that. $15 an hour. That's amazing, especially the type of work. I mean, like he just said, it's easy work. And it,
Yeah. There's one thing, like, we hire anybody, but just make sure you don't have any like sexual related charges on your paperwork or none of that shit, because we can't hire you. Because we do a lot of events with kids.
Yeah.
So we have to keep that in mind at the end of the day. Like, we all represent a company at the end of the day that, like, if somebody messes up, it's a bad look on us. And then, the clientele that's there to view the event or whatever, they paid tickets to go to the event. Like, we look like a horrible security company, basically. So we do what we can to make sure that everybody's safe, everybody's comfortable, there's no hostile activity, same as every security company, basically.
Yeah, that's good. That's dope. So anyone that's tuning in right now You're looking to book Murr. Murr, give them the information one more time where they can find your music videos. Where can they find you to book you for our next show or to do
All
a
right, so it's spelled Murr and then Mayo. So the way I explain the spelling of the name is you take the AY off of Murray and then Mayo short for mayonnaise. Um, I'm on Spotify. I'm on all platforms musically. I'm even on SoundCloud. I'm on TikTok. I am not on Twitter. To this day, I refuse to be on Twitter.
Me
I
too.
will never be on Twitter. So I'm not on Twitter, but I'm on Instagram, on Facebook. I go by Murr Mayo on all that. Spotify, I go by Murr Mayo. Apple, YouTube, Pandora, Deezer, Napster. You name the platform besides SoundCloud and like that Piff, and I'm on there. I'm on Tidal as well. I'm on all that.
All right, all right. How many videos you got out there altogether now? About
I think I got about 11 or 12 at this point or something like that, and I'm including like the recap videos that I've done and the preview videos I've done that I've thrown on my channel. So on my channel I got probably about 11 or 12 videos altogether. I do okay numbers. I'm not going to lie. My numbers have more to be desired at the end of the day, but that's, that always comes with time. But yeah, Jimi Hendrix to this day is still the video that got the most numbers. 2.8K or something like that,
yo, I could see you doing a like. No disrespect. I could picture you being like a Hugh Hef with a whole bunch of old bitches next to you and a light up in a heart.
Oh, see, ever since I made the Grandma's Boy tracks, I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to be labeled as Grandma's Boy.
Yeah, yeah. Call you the porn star of the grandma's boy over here. Anyone that's doing the award show, Murr Mayo gets that one hands down.
Yeah, I bring the pudding.
Yeah, yeah. He brings the pudding.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that video with Bizarre, I'm shooting to do it in August. That's my goal.
You need
By
any
August, I'm gonna make that video. My intention, my plan is to put it on World Star.
Okay. Are you looking for
And
someone to be on it?
huh?
You need me to be in it, or you need anybody else to be in it? Are you looking for extras?
I gotta figure out like the concept because I want to make it a really entertaining, lighthearted video, and I'm not sure whether I'm gonna use like. Well, somebody told me that it would be more insulting to old people if I used old people in the video, and I should use young people dressed up as old people, and it would be funnier. And I'm not sure yet where I stand on that. Um,
I
I
could
would
do
like
a
to. I
combination
would
of
like to
both.
bring. Huh?
A combination of both, young and old in it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that would be dope.
Yeah, that would actually be ill because at the end of the day, that would allow me to like really just bring the lighthearted element into it that I'm trying to bring, which is like just to be lighthearted and entertaining with it. And like I know Bizarre will want to do the same thing. Honestly, at the end of the day, like Bizarre will want to be lighthearted, entertaining with it. Like he doesn't want to. I already know. Like it's not one of those songs that you have to do some serious violent video too. Like you could really make it a funny, comedic, parody type video. So that's where my vision lies with the concept for the video is like we have to go all out on the comedic end with props and Groucho Marx glasses with the mustache and the whole 9 yards and like
I'll be an old
our
lady.
dicks taped up and all that.
Yo, I'll be an old lady with a cane. I'll be like, oh, Sonny boy, come over here.
Oh yeah, no, we can definitely chop it more because
You okay?
yeah.
What'd you say? What'd you say? My dog's biting the stupid plastic thing.
I was just saying, like, yeah, we can definitely chop it more because I still got time. I, I still gotta pay. I still gotta pay Bizarre. I gotta still pay Bizarre for the video either way.
All right. So keep me
So
updated.
once
Let
I
me
do
know.
that, I'll definitely keep you posted because I got somebody else. I got somebody else interested in that video. He wants to be in it, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna assert his role yet. what I'm thinking is that he can be the Murr Mayo role in the main part of the footage, but I might take some stuff from Adam Sandler and Grandma's Boy and all that. I might take some stuff like that. I might take some concepts like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like if I can go, like, the whole Grandma's Boy concept came from the movie. The whole Grandma's Boy came up from the movie, basically, when that dude fucked the old bitch, and
Yo,
then
that
he's
shit
like,
was
I fucked this
hilarious.
old ass lady.
Yo, that movie's hilarious. And then they killed somebody and then they put him in the freezer and the cop kept coming back and smell. And then that young chick was like flirting with them and they end up dating him. Oh shit, that shit was hilarious. That shit was a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking pot at the table. Oh, he's like, what's that smell? It's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yo, that shit's a good movie. That's a great movie. Shout out to the old ladies. Shout out to the old men in that movie. That's a great movie. I appreciate you, Murr Mayo. This is interview 481 interviews I've done in 4 years on my podcast, not included when I was on DBN for a year and a half in Springfield, Massachusetts with Farrell Bacon. I co-hosted with him. So salute to everyone. Happy Woo Wednesday to everyone.
Yeah.
Let's go. I appreciate you, Murr. Is there any shout outs or anything else you would like to bring up on your interview?
I want to shout out my personal team, the Shower Money Empire team. I want to shout out Slim Papa, this dude Treasy, Trees by Treasy. Like, we working on things right now to get our psychedelics and everything up. We about to do a lot of things, so shout out to them because they've always stood by me. They've always looked out to make sure that my, like, well-being and all that is good. Yeah. Shout out to my actual family too. You know, they have had to, like, indulge the same way I've had to indulge in the things in the past few months. So, you know, they're very much a part of what's going on with my personal life, and it's one of those things that, you know, as much as I'd love to divulge the information, I can't. Right. Just because out of respect for the person. It's just, you know, I just want to ride with the wishes. I don't want to get haunted or none of that shit. So
yeah, I know.
I don't want to get haunted. Shout out to my both of my fams. Shout out to both of them. Shout out to the whole NC. Like I said, free my guy 9. I hope that he gets through what he gets through, and I hope that, like, he comes out and gets to live his life and everything on some real shit. Free my guy too, like, free all my guys that are locked up. Honestly, I can't even name all of them. I can't name all of them. The list is too long. Free all my guys that are locked up though.
Free the jails point blank. Free the jails point blank. There we go.
Yeah, free the jails, basically. Free the jails. And just, you know. And the only other thing I would say is just everybody just keep staying tuned, because I might not do live shows right now. I might just cancel live shows for the moment, but I'm going to still have drops. I'm going to still make videos. I'm working on my hair right now to color it up. I don't want to make no videos yet until I do that. I got some ink work to do. I got some things to work on to upgrade the skin colors and everything so that I can come out in the next video looking crazy.
All right. I look forward to definitely seeing another crazy video of yours. That's for sure. Keep me entertained. Ooh, I just spilled the water.
I got you.
What about dang, what was I gonna say to you? Shoot. Oh, what was I gonna say to you? Dang. Oh, this is Murr's second time being on the Iccy Show. A year ago, he was on the Iccy Show for the first time. And I seen him put the work in this last year. I must say, I seen him out of state a couple of times when I was out of state. And I seen him at some shows. I seen him at a red carpet. You name it, this man is a great artist. Anyone that's looking to link with him, I definitely recommend it. Have you linked with my boy yet in Utah?
No, and I plan on doing that soon.
Okay.
I plan on doing that. I would say by the end of the year, I plan on doing that. I want to go to Utah anyway. I really do. I just saw some shit about some salt mines and kayaking. I want to do that.
Yeah, I see
I
that.
don't care what anybody says about restricted areas. Like, fuck all that. I live like always sunny in Philadelphia. Like, restricted areas, we go past that. We don't care about that. We only live once. So I want to do that. But, nah, I'd say by the fall, if I go to Detroit in August, I would say that I'm road tripping it. I'm road tripping it from there. So I want to go to the West Coast, and then when I come back, I want to hit Utah on the way back, type thing.
Yo, let me know. Let me know. I'll take the road trip with you. I got my license. You know I'm a driver. All
Oh yeah. Well, my goal would be to like rent a car.
right.
Gotta rent a car.
Yeah. Let
Don't
me
take
know.
your personal whip all the way cross country. That's like 3,000, 6,000 miles that you waste on a fucking personal car.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you turn around and get oil change before we get that rental. Be like, yo, we need an oil change. But yeah, definitely link
But
with me when you figure it out. I'm down for it. You know, when you start to prepare for it, let me know. I'll see if I get the time off from work and stuff like that, and we can make it happen. And yo, please, if I don't go, please do that video down there with my homeboy. That's the
I'm gonna
spot.
make it. You know what? I've been connecting with him. He fucks with the music. He fucks with the music that I make, and I fuck with the music he makes. So we're gonna make some crazy, trippy type music.
Yo,
Like we
I
talked about it. We chopped it up.
yeah, I'm
We
glad you
chopped it
guys
up.
chopped it up.
That's the
I'm
one thing I'm
definitely
gonna tell you. That's the one thing I'm gonna tell you is like after we talked about like getting in touch with that dude, I got in touch with him, and he's cool as shit. Like I definitely want to link up with him. I want to talk shop with him. I want to talk some business with him. I want to talk all that with him.
yeah.
And it's mainly because like I have to go out to that area of country in order to find some different shit than what I'm working with.
Right.
And I'm not really gonna divulge too many details, but like we talking some, you better put your big boy pants on, and you better be prepared for what you're going down the rabbit hole for. So I'll put it that way. But yeah, no, I definitely want to link up with him. I want to see what's up with him in terms of like trying to chop shop, do music and other business basically.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. That's why when I say, "Oh, damn, Murr, I didn't even think of you," when I was telling people on the interview, and they didn't follow up with him. So I'm glad you did. And I knew you guys, you're similar. Remember, I told you that when I made the link happen. I'm like, "Yo, you guys are like the same," and I told him the same thing. I'm like, "Yo, you guys are like the same." So that's what I'm about. I'm about linking with people. Let them, network. Network is the key in this industry. Um, you just gotta keep on going. Don't let nothing hold you back. And I'm glad you guys linked. So when you do that road trip, I'm definitely coming. Just let me know well ahead so I can plan it accordingly. What's up, Queen? My the number one hairdresser in the world is on here, and she will always be my number one hairdresser. I just don't have a vehicle to go see her.
And you know what she's gonna say? You know what she's gonna say to you? She's gonna be like, "What's up with this dude's hair? He needs something. I need
Yeah,
cornrows.
yo, she's gonna be like, yo, you need some braids right now.
I need some cornrows. I need some cornrows, but I gotta dye this hair. So I want to dye this hair first. I want to color it up. I want to do some like Joker shit with
Yeah,
yellow tips, yellow ends. So I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna get cornrows done.
yo, if
So
you
I'm
need
gonna
it,
match. I'm gonna try to match the purple and the green as much as I can.
yeah, definitely. She's in Boston, so link with her. I'll give you that information when it comes that time. She did my sons. She's did my hair for over a year last year. In the
Oh yeah, absolutely,
yeah, she's good.
absolutely.
She does it. Trust me, if I still have my vehicle, I would be still going to her. That's on everything. Like she does it the best. She knows how I like it lined up like this. She knows how I like it lined up like this. She gets it to my eye like perfect right to the T. She don't like it, she's taking out, redoing it, and putting it to the T. You see how this is a little off? This wouldn't be passing right now. She would make sure that
Mm-hmm.
shit is on point. I'm telling you, she's the one.
Word,
So I
word,
appreciate
word,
you,
word.
Murr. I appreciate everyone that tuned in tonight. Tell a friend, share this, tell a friend. It's your girl G Girl. This is 481 interviews I've done in 4 years. Salute to Murr. Keep on going and keep on going. If you could share some of your videos so I could share them on my page. The one we were talking about the abortion thing. Oh,
Of
that's what I was
course.
gonna say. That you in New Hampshire they closed all the abortion locations.
Oh, I'm not even surprised. And that's the thing about that song. Like, I'm not even surprised they did that because we won't get into this too much because I don't even want to get into it like that because I don't know everything about Roe versus Wade. But what I do know is um I told a couple of men, I was like, listen, put your stock money into condoms and stuff because that's where the way this world is going with the Roe versus Wade. And a lot of people in general, like there are like the majority of women know what Roe versus Wade is. They know about that whole thing. But a lot of us men don't. So it's like when it got overturned, it's like, guys, just really be careful the way you just maneuver around in life because like you might need to wrap it up like on some real shit like because and I know it's state to state and local to local government like decisions, but it's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
Like certain states like New Hampshire, I could see them overturning Roe versus Wade. I could see the abortion clinics closing. Um, Even a place like Texas that is even becoming more liberal, it's like I can see Texas, the majority of Texas still doing it. Once you get outside those progressive cities in Texas, like Austin, or I would say even a Houston or a Dallas, for instance, might be progressive to the point where they will keep abortion clinics open. There are other places on the outskirts of those city areas when you get in the real areas of Texas, like real country areas, that like abortion, we're not with it, we're not with it. Keep South, we're not with it, we're not with it. So the entire country's just not with abortion right now, and it's one of the bigger issues in life that, on a political scale, it might be one of those things that never gets solved because there's just too much a divide and conquer argument with it. There's people on the side of the scale that have their points, and then there's the progressives that have their points, the conservatives that have their points, religious people have their points. It's a very complicated matter with abortion. I'm all in support of it though. I'm all in support of a woman deciding what she wants to do with her body.
Yeah.
So the importance to the red abortion track, it's kind of funny. The timing of that track dropping and the video dropping when the Roe versus Wade got overturned was not the implication behind that track. It was really a personal thing with me. So I don't want anybody to get like fucked up in the head that they're like, I'm on some political liberal shit. No, I'm not. I stirred the pot and I made y'all left with a fucking thinking process where you literally are stuck wondering like, should I support abortion or should I not support abortion the way he's telling it? You
Right.
know? So I just do my part to leave the discussion and the debate open. I don't do my part to be like a finalist and making the judgment call on the discussion.
Right.
I'm not one. I'm not one, especially since I've never had kids and I can't explain the process of abortion like that and everything. I'm not one to get into the middle of that discussion. There's a lot of discussions that I don't get in the middle of right now, like the Johnny Depp trial. I didn't get in the middle of. I didn't want to talk about the Will Smith slap. I didn't want to talk about that. None of that.
Nipsey Hussle.
There's certain things you just don't have to put yourself in the middle of, and life is better that way. Trust me.
I know what you're talking about. Nipsey Hussle's the guy that did it to Nipsey Hussle. He's on trial this week. Stop scratching me.
And we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
We really will. And whether or not the dude is guilty, I'll put it this way. I mean, either way, it was still a tragedy that Nipsey had to like ended up dying and all that stuff. It's still a tragedy at the end of the day. It's so tragic when a music artist dies because it just, I don't know. It's just sometimes the weirdest circumstances of how they die, and sometimes it's just so tragic. It's just like I don't even know if I want to sit there and try to think about what really happened at the end of the day.
Right, right.
Nipsey's one of those cases where I'm like I would never sit there and I would never want to really dig deep into what really happened, whether it was an agenda thing or a conspiracy thing. I would never do that with certain deaths, just because like certain deaths are just gonna be certain deaths, and there's just no way that you're gonna be able to tell it like another way. And Nipsey is one of those deaths that you can sit there and you can try to show whatever evidence you want to show that it was a conspiracy or an agenda, but there's a handful of people to this day that will never sit there and want to listen to it because of the simple fact that the death was so tragic that
Yeah.
why would we want to debate about what happened, you know? It's like Kobe's death too. We'll never debate about it because like there are a majority a handful of people that will literally sit there and be like, I can't debate with you on this death. It was just too sad to really sit there and talk to you about,
George
you
Floyd
know?
too. George Floyd.
Huh?
George Floyd. His killing was.
Oh yeah, those two. But
I
those, those deaths with regards to the BLM movement was just a lot more significant, and it was a lot more the type of deaths that led to a political discussion.
right.
It incurred a political discussion, regardless of how you felt about the issue. It wasn't a matter whether you were right or wrong about all those deaths. It was a matter of the principle, like, are you not seeing the bigger picture of what's going on? Is that the singularity, the closing out of the sides of the colors of the people that are getting killed and everything like that? You know, it's that's a topic that I don't get into much because, I tread very carefully on things like that.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
feel like, you know, America's supposed to be, freedom of speech, freedom of land. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we could do whatever we want, especially if we got raped or something like that. I feel like, we shouldn't have to keep that baby. You know, people couldn't think I'm wrong, but, if you get raped and you don't even know nothing about that person that raped you, why should you have to keep that baby? I know people are gonna say, "Oh, babies, that's killing a baby," but you know, we should be able to give it for an adoption. If the situation, I'm not gonna get into it too much, but what I'm saying is, I just feel like certain laws is like, stop eating everything. Look, my dog bit me, made me bleed. um, you know, um, certain laws I feel like shouldn't be laws because,
Mhm.
like I said, we're in USA, so the law should be a little bit different on certain things. I feel like certain laws would make the jails a little bit less filling, and they're overcrowded right now, and it sucks. Hearing about that, hearing different disaster stories. And I feel bad for the jails. I feel bad for the CEOs because they have to deal with extra. Like in New York, they're short-handed of CEOs at Bikers Island. Nobody wants to work over there. The jails, the doors don't open when the doors are supposed to open. It's very old. They need to redo it or shut that jail down. Salute to all the inmates over there. I remember a couple months ago they were on the news. I think it was 100 stabbings in January, and the year just started.
Mhm.
And that's crazy because every life is at stake in that. Even the CEO, the inmates, if they can't get out, God forbid there's a fire in that prison. What? And they knew all the. There was over 100 things that was seriously wrong with that jail, and I feel like something needs to be done. That's a tragic incident. That could be a tragic incident, and it is tragic with all these stabbings happening inside the jail.
Yeah, and that brings to another topic which we really don't have to get in depth to because I have my theories on what's going on with that. But like, I'm sure that you watched in the news like everybody did. Not me. I actually don't watch the news, Jackie. I will say that. I will state that. I actually don't watch the news because I am on a different belief system where I feel like a lot of the media is controlled to say certain things, and that's all another discussion for another time. Like the shooting that happened in Texas, the school shooting. That's another issue that's been very prevalent in our country. And I don't think I'm too wrong on this. I might not be 100% correct, but I think I can safely say this, that America has had more school shootings, more domestic school shootings than any other country in the world.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder at a certain point, like, I don't know if I'm the only one that's really like this because I'm looking at it in an objective way where not a lot of people are one-sided, like, whereas most people are one-sided on the whole discussion. and that's what it's driving. That's what the narrative's driving. Like me, I look at both sides of every spectrum with everything. So, with the school shooting thing, it's been going on for so long. It's been going on since 1996, if you want to keep it real. Like, Columbine was not the first shooting.
Right.
Arkansas.
Yes.
Like, a lot of people don't remember Arkansas with the two 11-year-old kids that got in the parents' cabinet. They shot up the kids at the school and then shot themselves,
Yeah.
which led to the Columbine thing. So my thing with the gun, with the whole school shooting thing and the similarities and all that, the commonalities that I can't talk about on social media is like, I think it's a narrative. I think it's a whole narrative with the gun thing, with the school shootings, the kids, I feel it's so tragic about the kids who get killed, but then in the back of my mind, I'm like, am I the only one who thinks this is like a false flag attack going on or something like that to get us to have gun control? Like, so these are things that I can't discuss with a lot of people because there are so many people in the world that have their opinions, and I love the fact that there's free will. I love the fact there's the diversity to think. I love the fact there's the diversity to have your own opinion, to be able to state what you want to state and state it the way you want to state it. That it becomes very complicated with issues like that, and same with abortion. Abortion is one of those issues that you're going to run into a wall at some point because you're going to run into somebody who's so strongly on the way their beliefs are and their thinking and philosophies are that you can't just manipulate that the way you want. You can
Right.
always leave the door open for the knowledge, but you can't manipulate it the way you want.
Right, right. That's major what you're saying. And the craziest thing is, I, as a parent, I think that the law should be, the White House should take over. If there's more than 10 fights at a school in a school year, I feel like they should bring metal detectors, especially if a weapon is being drawn at any time of the fight. I really, really stress that. I really feel that they should put metal detectors in all middle schools, in high schools, um, in all schools, point blank, because there's been a couple elementaries that unfortunately that happened. I really feel that, it should pass a law. God forbid one of those parents that lost their child. I think they should fight for that. That it should be mandatory. They pay for the
Mm-hmm.
detail of a cop being out of school, but you know how much money is going into that detail when we can invest that into um, metal detectors at the schools. And yesterday they had a shooting on Charlestown. They were having their graduation, and someone shot there, and the kids couldn't finish their graduation, which is sad, real sad situation because you know they're there to be happy at graduation, and someone lost their mind to shoot up the, the school or whatever outside the school, whatever the case may be. And I think it's sad because now these school kids just graduated. They couldn't even go across the stage. And then you think they're gonna want to go back to school when it comes to September? These kids are tragic. No kid or child, even adult, you're never the same after a shooting. Um, um, I had something seriously happen to me, and you're never the same. You're never the same, mentally, physically, or anything when it's a tragic situation. So, for someone to say, "Oh, it's been so long. Oh, you should be over it." No, you shouldn't never get over that. Your feelings are really important, and if a psychiatrist wants to see you and they bring up the same thing and bring up the same thing, it's like, why am I reminiscent of what a tragic situation? I'm trying to forget about that. Why am I going to have to keep bringing that up? You know what I'm saying? And I know it's their
Yeah,
job, but it's like I feel like it's the reacting of a situation. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah. No, I do, and it's like it's 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 crazy because at the end of the day, it's like the more that you trigger kids in society, and the more that you trigger the parents who essentially are responsible for making sure that kids do not do things like this. This is where the complication of the problem is because you have two sides of the arguments. You have the gun owners who will sit there and will literally argue all day that you know, they'll say that having guns is a safety measure or something like this, that, and the third. They'll have their side of the argument, and then you'll have the other side of the argument. And so that's where the complication and the politics of things come in with guns. It's like there's the freedom to be able to own a gun, and there's the freedom to be able to have a gun. But you know, it takes more than, like, I agree with you, it takes more than mental checks and background checks. It does take metal detectors. I've even embraced the idea of like retired normal veterans that could be able to watch over as bodyguards or security for the schools or something like that. I've even embraced that idea at this point.
Right, right.
Because I feel like it would be taking some sort of step in the right direction to protect the kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about us. It's not about us, the adults. It's about the kids. And like you said, like, it's about them feeling comfortable to get an education. If they don't feel comfortable getting an education, then we're going to have a whole bunch of kids who get homeschooled just based off the simple fact that they don't feel safe and comfortable in the place that they're supposed to learn.
Right. And that's a distraction too. You know, and what child could focus after a tragic situation? Thank God no one died yesterday in Charlestown. I'm not too sure if they got hurt, but I was at somewhere and there was breaking news, and I'm like, these poor kids, you know, like you see me jumping out because someone's doing fireworks, but you know, it's like what you've been through, that noise will always stick with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people just take advantage of life, and you know, we need to love more, we need to be real more, not this fake baloney that's around. But you know, God bless everyone. Everyone needs to pray more, whatever you think, in the positive way. I think that's important. I'm sorry about my Bible studies got canceled yesterday. Everyone start inboxing me about that. It will be next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. My cooking show is going to be changing the day. I'll be keeping you updated on that date. Murr, I appreciate you coming on the Iccy Show. I really do. I know you got things to do. I got things to do. Everyone got things to do. So, you know, anytime you want to come up, let me know. I got you. Inbox me, and stay healthy, stay blessed. Everyone that's tuning in. Happy birthday. If it's your birthday, my condolences to anyone that lost anyone. Happy anniversary. It's your anniversary. Go graduates 2022. All of you. Preschool,
Oh,
middle school, junior
one
high.
more thing. One more thing before I hang up. Go Celtics. Celtics in 7.
Yes, Celtics. Woo! Seize up.
We
Let's
didn't even
go.
talk
Woo!
about the Celtics. Oh my God. We can't do it though, because
Yes, let's go. We gotta go, Celtics. You need to do it. My son needs to go to a parade. The younger generation needs to experience it. We haven't had one from a long time. Let's go, Celtics. Seize up. Let's go, Boston. 617. Let's go. All right, Murr, I appreciate you coming on the Iccy Show. Everyone that tuned in on this Iccy Show, happy Wednesday to everyone. Shout out to Legal Mob Entertainment, Miss BK. Get your music. Did you link with her? Murr, did you link with her?
I did recently, but I gotta talk to her again.
Okay, make sure you link with her. Miss BK,
I will.
her thing artist, link with her. She's Vega Dawn, from Wu Tang. She's she is his manager. So Miss BK, salute to your queen. Keep on doing it. I appreciate you, Murr. Have a blessed Wednesday to everybody. Let's go, 2022, big year. Murr, salute,
Yeah.
much love, respect.
All right. Have a good one, Jackie.
Peace.